Welcome to Pass the Turn. This is another Magic the Gathering Mondays segment, and today we're doing a bit of a different format that we haven't done before in the form of a podcast style-esque video. I'm here with my co-host on the Magic the Gathering Monday. Say hello, Josh.
Hello, how's it going?
There he is. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Yep, just sleeving up some magic cards. Got my list in front of me, and I'm ready to have a good old chin wag.
Oh, lovely jubbly. That's a new deck that we should be seeing soon. Well, if you want to give them a little preview of what that might entail.
It's a sort of Super Friends proliferating infectial disease.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so my Simic deck might even interact with that Proliferate then. So we might even be buddies for a little bit in that game.
Oh, 100%. I can definitely see a two-headed giant match coming along.
Oh yeah, nice, decent. Well, today we're here to do in segments this MTG challenge that is being branded around Instagram and Twitter and what have you, and it's just basically a day-by-day statement or question about Magic the Gathering in general. And we'll just kick it straight off. Basically, it says day 1, what is your favourite Magic card? And then it goes day 2, first card you own, day 3, a card you hate, etc., etc. So different topics for different days, but we're going to be covering them in big, large chunks. So we'll start straight away with your favourite Magic card, and you can kick that off today. Josh, what's your favourite Magic card of all time?
Ooh. Well, mine's well, it's actually two cards that merge together, and that's to form Bracella, Voice of Nightmares. I love this card. It's everything I like in a card. It's big,
yeah,
control-y, scary looking, amazing art, and I love Angels. I love Eldrazi. Sticking them together, that's perfect.
Yeah, so we got a 9/10 legendary creature, Eldrazi Angel. As you say, it's an emergence of both the Void and the Grace mixed together, isn't it, really?
Oh, 100%, yeah. It's Bruna and Gisela. And I think there's some flavor text on the bottom of the card, if you've got it there, Aaron.
Yeah. Upon discovering what had become of her sisters, Sigara could only weep.
Nice little bit of flavor there.
Yeah.
It's just you just know what's happened. Like,
do you know the story behind that then, or?
I'm Leo's 100% on the story. I'm sort of like I know a bit about it. So from what I gather, Bruna and Gisela went to fight Emrakul and then just got turned to slaves, basically.
Wow, and, yeah, well, they would, wouldn't they? So it's bloody Emrakul.
Exactly. I mean, and these angels are properly powerful, but it's the same set where Sorin unmakes Avacyn, another ridiculously powerful angel. So all these angels are just falling from grace, basically.
Oh, nice. You've always liked that though, and yeah, right, with regards to like having the holy power, but then sort of falling
slightly corrupted, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what Bracella is really. It's just two angels that have been absolutely melded. It's got a bit of a full art as well. If you put them both together, you can see the tentacles like coming into the text. It's quite cool.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's just such a great looking card. I wish I had a foil version of both of them because that would look unbelievable.
Yeah.
I pretty much run it in my deck. This is like, I don't know what people call it, but for me, this is a sort of card that I try to fit into every single deck that I build within reason.
Yeah.
Just because I love it. Like, and I feel like every Commander player needs to do that. You know, you need to go to yourself, right? What do I love about Commander?
Yeah.
And what are my favorite cards? So if you're going to build even if you're going to build like a +1/+1 counter deck, you can always fit in something that is just like your favorite card.
Yeah,
I feel like there's always space for something in there because like whenever you draw it, it's just going to bring a smile to your face.
Oh yeah, definitely, and that's what the number one's all about, really, isn't it? It's that's just, even if you got one half of Bracella, well, you in the Commander game, you're always going to have that one half there, just looking for that other half to just bring
exactly.
It to,
and I mean, my deck, I'm just in the deck that I'm playing it with. Like, I've got my Angel deck where it's the Commander, and I've got ways to get Gisela back from if I send Bruna back to the command zone. But in my current deck, this proliferating infect sort of thing, I mean, there's loads of ways that I can get them both. So I mean, I have at least 3 or 4 ways to get, if I've got one, to get the other. So that sort of just helps me make it more usable. Otherwise, I mean, like you said, it's quite difficult to use a one um of a certain card, and like especially if it melds, like you're like, oh, how often am I actually going to use this?
Yeah.
But when you can make it fairly consistent to the point where even if you get them to meld and it dies straight away, it's been there, and it has had some sort of impact on the board.
And what was the ruling with it? Where if Bracella dies, do you get to meld it again, or do you not?
Right. So if for example, if Bruna is your commander, like in my Angel deck, if Gisela and Bruna merge together, they both get exiled until Bracella is basically comes destroyed or whatever happens to her. And then at that point, the commander rule comes in of because then at that point in which she's destroyed or leaves play, Bruna and Gisela are trying to come back from exile into the grave.
Ah, right.
Now this is where, if you choose your commander to go to command zone, basically one of the sisters is just saying to the other, no, sorry, you're gonna have to stay in exile. I'm going back to the command zone.
Yeah.
But if Bruna was to say, okay, I'll go to the grave, then both would go back to the grave.
That's it. Yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
That's kind of flavoursome as well.
Yeah, quite thematic as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, we tried once, but you're gonna have to go into the void now. I'm so sorry, but I'm going back to the command zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But in that deck, I use pull from the eternity, so I sort of there's a second chance if I have a chance to do it.
Nice.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a white deck, and there is actually a lot of grave recursion in white. So, I mean, there is the odd time where I'll just be like, you know what, Bruno, you can just go to the grave because I'll get you back.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's the good thing about white is that you can just know that graveyard's pretty much just another zone where you can pick from. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to the extent of black, but there is plenty of white recursion. So
yeah, that's why.
I mean, I like it. And the only thing about white that isn't great is card draw, but there is plenty of ways to get around that.
Yeah, plenty. But yeah, it's a sick card. Obviously, it's one of your favourites. Well, it is your favourite because that's the topic, isn't it? But yeah, going back to that point about you want to have your favourite card in most decks. That's pretty much the same with me. Any deck that runs green in, I'll probably put this card in, and that is Vorapede. So he's a what is he? He's a 5/4 when he comes out for the first time. He costs three forests and 2 others, and he is a 5/4 Vigilance, Trample, Undying. So he's pretty much in every green deck I've got because he's just a beat stick that just will refuse to go away, especially if there's a swarm yard behind him as well. He's just constantly in your face, and he gets stronger if he does die. And it's just, I love the artwork as well, and it's one of the cards that got me back into Magic, and was in that very, very early stages Insect Tribal, which is now living on in a new commander deck that the channel hasn't seen, which they'll see at some point.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I've seen that yet.
You wouldn't have seen it yet. No, I literally only tested it the other day. But yeah, Vorapede, really like it. Mono green, I love the green. I've always loved the green, to be honest.
Yeah, you are a green player. I mean, that's just you.
Just big creatures.
Yeah, exactly. Big creatures, no removal.
Yeah,
that's literally you.
And you'll see him in a deck that I've made recently, and it's just literally big green creatures, loads of pump spells, tribal artifacts, and what have you. But yeah, you'll see him up soon. But yeah, one of my favourite ones, one of the ones that got me back into it, and it holds a very, very special place in my heart.
In your heart.
Yes, and you'll see him
it's a
pop
good
up
card.
again.
I mean, it's a great card.
Yeah.
I mean, it potentially something that you could look into putting in there is maybe, just like I have in one of my decks, a birthing pod if you're going to be mono green, because you can sack him off.
Yeah.
And he just comes back, but you're going to go and get yourself something of 6 mana. So then you've got a 6 mana creature there, and the 5 mana just for doing sacking it off.
Yeah, he comes back. Yeah, that's what I mean. I made that it was pretty aggressive black deck actually, with Zulaport Cutthroats, Undying Ghouls, all that sort of stuff, that I just sacked off the Demon of Death's Gate. That was a really, really powerful deck back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I could probably make that again, but that was pretty good. Just sacking stuff off. They come back because they got Undying, because you haven't really lost anything. You've actually pumped them up as a result of sacking them off. So yeah, Undying is. I don't think there's many cards that have it at the moment, but it's really, really, really nice.
It's a cool mechanic, really.
Yeah, it is. And he's in my Simic deck as well, because obviously he comes back with a +1/+1 counter, and then that just gives him more mutations, because Simic is sick with mutations and that, which I'm exploring at the moment. So yeah, good card, appears in a lot of my green decks. I think all of them actually. So yeah. So that was the day one favorite Magic card. Then we got on to day two now, which is the first card you owned. So I'll start with a little story about how I got my first Magic card, and that all just reverts back to the school days of when I was about 15, 14, and Magic cards were being thrown around. Nobody really understood the value of them. Nobody was really playing with them. It's just a cool thing to do at the time. And I came into the possession of a card called Ghostly Wings, which the artwork looks pure egg-tastic. So just type in Ghostly Wings and just have a look at this. So it's from the Torment set, which a lot of old school people that are listening will understand what that set was. Chania Dementia Masters, and he pops up in this list as well from Torment. But Ghostly Wings was a enchant creature back in the day, so in what is now known as an aura. Is that right? An enchant creature is an aura?
Yeah, it'd be enchantment aura, I think.
Yeah, so that enchants a creature.
Enchantment aura, yeah, that'd be it.
Make them stronger.
Oh god, yeah, the old artwork is a bit egg, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's basically just like a clam with tentacles coming out of it, with some eggy wings and a like splash effect. By David Martin, the illustrator, so he's probably not in business anymore. But Ghostly Wings, one island and one other. Enchanting creature gets +1/+1 and has flying, and you can discard a card from your hand to return or bounce the creature to your hand. So that's the first card I owned.
I mean, actually, it's pretty good, to be fair. I mean, you're bouncing a creature.
If you want to throw stuff in your graveyard as well, I mean, discarding a card from your hand, just a colon, you can discard as many cards as you like, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you lose the Ghostly Wings, but
yeah,
that doesn't matter. I mean, you've saved your creatures. What was that creature a long time ago? Arcanus.
Oh, the tap, draw 3 cards.
Omnipotent? Yeah, something like that.
Okay,
he had that ability.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's a very cool style of doing it.
Yeah, it's just a bit of protection, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first card I owned. It wasn't great, but there you go. There's a story behind it. That's how I remember it.
My first card goes back to when you first got me into Magic, mate.
Oh, yeah.
That's when we got the dual decks, Avenza versus Koth, or Koth versus Venza, whichever way around it is.
Oh, wow, yeah. Remember that.
So I think you took the Venza side and I took the Koth side. I now own both because Venza's ridiculous for a lot of my decks. And sort of Koth just sits in my collection because I'm not a mono red player, and he sort of only really benefits from that.
No, that's it, yeah.
But yeah, he's my first card. So my first card is actually a Planeswalker, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's the front card of the pack, so that sort of counts as the first card, I think.
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I just can't believe I went for the white-blue when I was like, we'll do this. I'm going to be the Azurius colours. That even though
completely not what you'd be like now.
Yeah, proper bizarre. But yeah, I think that's one of the things that got us on the train, wasn't it, originally?
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, that's a cool. Is it a shiny as well?
Oh yeah, both of our versions were foil as well, which is. I don't have the foil version of Venza now, but I do have the foil Koth still in my collection.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I do love a good dual deck product. Obviously, I'm not sure if they do. I can't remember what. There's definitely an MTG product that comes as a deck, but you get a booster pack as well in the back of it. I can't remember whether we got one of those.
Yeah, I think they're like I can't remember what they're called, but they're not the same as they used to be. Really, I mean the value now is you get far less.
Yeah.
Than back then, even though back then you didn't get the booster packs. Like I'd rather have more value in a core product.
Yeah.
Than the luck of a booster pack, because that's just how it was. I mean, it depends what set it is, But you know, I don't know. I just don't feel like there's many sets that come out that actually are full of value.
Yeah, I mean, saying
Really.
that, yeah, I mean, I did do a review on the Simic Guild kit, which I thought was just a, 17 quid, 17 quid splash. I got a cheaper deal because it was from a sick game store. However, I thought there was quite a lot of value in that. But I watched there's a YouTube channel called Tolarian Academy as well. The professor guy
Yeah.
does he does like the value reviews, and the guild kits do tend to be quite good value. But yeah, a lot of them these days aren't, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he often says about the value within packs. I mean, he said the guild kits were a decent product, and that's
Yeah.
pretty good. But I mean, I think the old dual decks
Mm.
that were like with the planeswalkers in the front of them were better than the dual decks um, like themes like speed versus cunning and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just
and we got a
because
demonic versus divine at one point as well, didn't we?
yeah, we did, and that one's really not very good. That's
No.
probably one of the worst ones.
Yeah.
But the Shiny Geister Scent Draft is used in modern, so it has some value if you were like wanting to pimp your deck, or if you wanted a foil Scent Draft for your commander deck, which would be a cool commander.
Mm.
He is a cool guy, but yeah, no, I think, and really the value is in buying the cards you want straight away. But there is nothing that beats like especially when you're a new player, it's just trying new cards.
Yeah.
Like, that is how you work out what kind of Magic you want to play, is trying new cards, playing new decks. And like I'll even go to say we proxy cards that we know that we will never be able to afford, just because we want to try them out, see how they are, because the Magic's a game that really should be for sharing and just enjoying it. So
Definitely.
if there is, for example, Teferi, none of us own a Teferi.
No.
I think Seb owns one, but Leo uses a proxy version of that because he's 16 years old. He doesn't have 50 odd quid to spend on a Teferi, and you know what? Fair play to him. Let him do that. If he wants to enjoy a card that he will probably never own, so let him do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, you have to sometimes, and it's just testing it out as well. If you don't want to,
Exactly.
you don't want to splash the cash if it's never going to work for you. Which I'm a sucker
Definitely.
of doing that. I overbuy cards sometimes just because that's going to work. Like recently, I just took out I know this is pretty much off topic, but there's a card in here which I think is sick. I just took it out of my deck called Soul of the Harvest. So it's a 6/6 trample. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, you may draw a card under your control.
Yeah, your green card. Yeah, I've got one as well actually.
But
I might have traded it to Matthew.
But
no, exactly, and the card that card itself is probably worth like two quid.
Yeah.
And when you're like doing a big order, it does rack up. Like
yeah.
And you'll find yourself that you've got more 15p, 20p cards in your deck than cards of actual, this middle tier value, like rare, expensive because they're rare sort of cards.
That's it. Yeah, but that's it. Proxy cards is a good idea to do, but
I mean that's like, buy a couple of decks, enjoy it, buy a couple of packs, crack them open, enjoy that feeling as well. But when you come to building a commander deck, put together what you have, and then go on stuff like EDH Rec, or speak to your friends and ask them what they would suggest.
Yeah.
Write down a list, then proxy it up, play it, see if you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, splash the cash and build the deck that you want to play. And then don't be scared to think about upgrades. Every single time a new set is released, there will be upgrades for you, especially like coming up now. There's going to be a lot of coming. So you've got Modern Horizons, which is a straight to modern set, which is going to be crazy, and it's going to completely change modern. It kind of makes me want to properly play modern.
Yeah.
But we'll see about that. But we also have War of the Spark, which is going to be heavily Planeswalker, which is I like Planeswalkers, so that's perfect for me. And there's going to be a lot of legendaries in that, because I feel like you can't just have planeswalkers. There's got to be legendary creatures in there. They can't just be normal bulk standard creatures.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I hope that the planeswalker archetype isn't going to replace the legendary creature, because the legendary creature is the soul of Commander, isn't it?
Well, yeah, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking either there could be two ways of doing it. Either the fallout of this battle of Bolas is that no one's a planeswalker anymore,
Yeah,
or the fallout is that it's so easy to obtain your spark.
yeah,
Anyone can be.
that's
Elvish
it.
Visionary has suddenly become a legendary creature.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Elvish Visionary, drawer of cards, +1, 5+ cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Anyway, yeah. So, wow, yeah, went off well off topic there, but there you go. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Cool. So, that was day 2. First card we owned. Day 3 is a card you hate. So you start this one off. Card you absolutely despise.
Oh God, Spell Queller. It's the fact that it doesn't counter the spell, but it essentially does. You exile the spell of 4 basically or less,
Yeah.
which pretty much hits most of modern, and it is still a nuisance in Commander. Not that any of us run it, but it is a right pain in modern, and you'll just be like, oh, I'm gonna cast this one spell and change the fate of your game, and then boom, it's quellered, and you can't do anything about it. You just tapped all your bloody mana out,
Yeah.
and then it's their go, and they've got a 2/3 on the field, flying 2/3.
2/3 flying, 2/3. Yep, and just your spells sat in a jar, basically,
Exactly.
being held by a lich-looking spirit thing. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
That card.
It does look cool.
Flash flying as well. Yeah, it could block as well, couldn't it? If you
Yeah,
wanted it to.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome card. I can see why you hate it though. 'Cause it's just one of those cards that get in the way, and mine comes off the back of that also. And no surprise here, it's also white. It's also a white card that just stops you in your tracks, and that's Authority of the Councils.
That's a sick card.
Yeah, when you got it on your field.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that is a frustrating card to play against.
Oh god, it's just
the haste killer.
worse than Soul Ring 1-drop. The worst 1-drop you can ever see your opponent play is Authority of the Councils. Not only is all of our creatures going to enter tapped, but they're going to gain life for each one that sloths itself out of the summoning zone. It's ridiculous. Summoning zone, don't know what that is, but
And people don't really play enchantment removal, so it stays forever.
Yeah.
The value is unreal with that card.
Oh god, yeah. It's just any sort of policing effects I really don't like, because it just you're trying to play your deck and people just be like, no, sorry mate, can't do that. No, sorry.
No, sorry, no.
But yeah, those players become just big X's on their heads. You're going to die by my 7/7 trample flying.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Like, I will untap with this 7/7.
Yeah.
I'm staring down but that's the thing. It not only makes yours tapped out, but it gives them a turn. If they're, if you're thinking of bringing in a hasty creature, it's no longer hasty, and they've got a whole turn to deal with it.
No, exactly. Oh, horrible. But yeah, that was that vent.
Especially with there's cards out there that say things don't untap during their untap step. So if you're pairing those up together, that is true police right there.
Oh, it is, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's horrible. It really is. And
that would just be your idea of hell, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. Luckily, I've got a little Mercfiend Liege in one of my decks. What I don't want policed, so he's nice. He untaps all green and blue creatures and other people's untap steps, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's like the green and blue version of like your Creekwood Liege or Ashenmoor Liege and all that sort of stuff in the Shadowmoor set.
Love the old Lieges, yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome, especially in those dual colour decks. But yeah, so yeah. Next topic is a huge creature that you love, and I'll kick this off with. Oh no, yeah, I'll do it. So with regards to this, is a big green creature called Giant Adaphage. So he's a big green stomping and multiplying machine, basically. Every time I've played him, I think he's become a threat straight away. So as soon as he copies himself once, that is it. People need to get rid of it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep coming back and making more and more and more of them.
And I mean, you don't abuse it with like parallel lives or stuff like that, or
no.
doubling season. But
that's what I mean. If I did, it would be ridiculous.
It would just be crazy powerful. But this the thing that is powerful, but not unfair. It's just taking advantage of a good situation. It's a good card that brings more of the same thing. And I love the fact that it copies exactly itself.
Yeah.
So it's not copying out like For example, Utavara Hellkite, whenever a dragon attacks, you make a 6/6 dragon. It's like whenever it deals damage, you're getting exactly the same card, so they can do it again, and that's 2 more coming
Just
through.
just
It's just such a
compounds.
massive creature as well, which makes it so difficult to block it, because you're like, well, do I just take the damage because they're going to get one anyway, or do I throw everything under it in hopes that there's no way that he's going to keep it alive?
Yeah, just trying to kill one, but even if that one damage goes through, there's going to be another one, and then you have to deal with that one again. Yeah, it's just Every time
So you have to
I've
just
played
sort
it,
of throw everything at it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, every time I've played it, it's become a threat. I mean, there has been some times when it has been just instant removed straight away, but you can use that to your advantage as well. Like, oh, I've got a giant Adderphage, but I've also got something else in my hand. I know that if he's gonna come out, he's gonna use his removal spell on that, so I can play the other thing.
Yeah, exactly, and that is a really good way to play around people especially when you think you're just looking at the board state and you think, well, the Adderphage, if it gets to stay, brilliant. I'm a big creature up, and then I can start making moves.
Yeah.
And it also means that next card you bring out is going to apply more pressure than what's already being put down, basically.
That's it. And that defines it perfectly, as the pressure of the Adderphage is like, if you let him through, he's going to become worse and worse and worse. But that's a big creature that I love. Yeah, definitely.
Mine is a legendary creature, and it's one of my favorite types, and it's the Eldrazi, and it's Emrakul. I love both, actually, both Emrakuls, to be honest. But in particular, it's the Eon's Torn that I like. I mean, it is ridiculous. Don't personally own one. Would love to have one. It's on the list of things that I would like. That and Blightsteel Colossus are up there on creatures that I would love to have.
Yeah.
But just Emrakul is just it's the fact that it is just alien and just massive, and you just can't do anything about it. Obviously, it's banned in Commander, so I use the next version down, which is significantly worse. But there's ways to abuse that card's abilities anyway. So the one that I use in my Commander deck is Emrakul, the Promised End. I prefer the art on the Promised End. That is my favorite artwork of the Emrakuls. It's just like, in the distance, it's coming towards you. These tentacles are, flying out everywhere. Oh, it's just sick.
Yeah. Those arts are the best ones. The ones that are just like, you can see the sense of scale behind it. You can see Emrakul's in the background, but he's not even the focus. It's the tentacles. It just makes him seem even bigger.
Exactly, almost like Progenitus or Progenitus. When you see in the background, he just looks crazy powerful.
Yeah, it's just it. It's just the ominous threat in the background. It's just like otherworldly, eldritch almost. It's just
exactly. I mean, it is eldritch themed, really, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's the closest thing to, however you say it, Cthulhu, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Cthulhu. Yeah, that's like the Lovecraftian monsters. Like, they're very cosmic in their power, rather than they're very very otherworldly, very cosmic, alien-looking creatures, rather than fantastical like demons and dragons. Exactly. They're very much like void, like things that exist in the void sort of creatures. And that's what I like about
the blind eternities, as it is in Magic. But essentially they're themselves, they don't actually know what they're doing, or apart from Emrakul is slightly different. But Ulamog and Kozilek, I read, they don't they've been just sent. They are just doing their job. There is no like malicious intent there, essentially.
Really?
Well, that's what it's supposed to be said. So one of the ones, I can't remember what it is, where it's from, but I think it was Tamiao.
Well, that moon sage person.
Not Tamiao, no, the one that's the Leviathan one. The moon one. You have it in your mixed Leviathans.
Oh, Kiora.
I think I read that Kiora thought that she had like some influence over Kozilek, and he just it was just something to do with that, and actually the whole time it was just coincidence, and he didn't even know she existed. Like,
wow,
it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Eldrazi
So
just don't.
cool.
They just can't. They just don't comprehend mere creatures like Kiora, do they? Really?
No.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, they are big beefy creatures, and yeah, it just shows really. All their
It's
artwork is
all.
awesome as well. So that was the big creatures section. So just finished that talking about huge creatures we love. So now it's day 5, which is your favourite planeswalker. So you can kick this one off with your favourite planeswalker.
Oh, my favorite planeswalker is Ugin. It was a close one between him and his twin brother, Bolas. I
Nicol
do
Bolas.
really, really like Bolas,
Mm.
but I think for me, Ugin is just a little bit more. I think it's because he just seems more elegant.
Yeah, oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and I just sort of like the fact that he's sort of like he's a spirit dragon. You know, he's sort of like reminds me of Sif the Scaleless from
Dark
Dark
Souls.
Souls, and I just love. You know, it's just a very interesting card as well. Like, um, I brought one a couple last year.
Shot up in value
And
as well,
I
didn't it?
Oh, it has massively. Yeah, I mean, I bought mine for 20 quid roughly,
Yeah.
and now it's like 55, and it's still climbing. It's mad, mad money. But I mean, it is a powerful card, really is. I mean, the fact that you can just bring it in and you can exile everything that is colored
Yeah.
of 7 mana or less is just crazy. It's just if you bring it in, it's a board wipe of your choice, basically, which is really cool. Or it's 3 damage to someone's face, and in my deck, it's more than just once. You're getting it twice or maybe 3 times a turn to the face,
Yeah.
and then suddenly you're doing his ultimate, and you've just smashed down 7 permanents on the field. Crazy.
Yeah, it's madness. And there's no color either, so you could put that in any deck really, Ugin.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's, as long as it sort of fits the deck. Like even if you was playing a burn deck, like I mean, you could still fit it in a burn deck, really,
Yeah. Yeah,
which
you
is
would.
pretty cool.
Yeah, you'd use. I'm not sure if you'd ever use the -10, but still, it's ridiculous if you get there. But I'm not sure if you'd use that, would you really? Have you ever used the minus
No, I
ten?
mean, I don't think you necessarily have to. I think the best thing about him is that you can just pop off the occasional annoying three power or less creature, or to a player or planeswalker. I can't remember if it says what you can target, but you can also just exile everything of nuisance. So let's say going against someone who uses a lot of his grave, and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to clear this, and
Yeah,
you're not getting it back because it's exiled.
yeah,
So that's what I like about it.
yeah.
And you can
Is
also do it in stages. So, for example, if you know that someone's running a sack outlet, and you're like, right, okay, so they've got a coloured sack outlet, let's say, and you're just like, well, then I'm gonna have to get rid of that sack outlet first, and then next layer just exile everything. I mean, that's it being if you've got the time to do it, but I think that works quite well.
yeah, it's awesome. It looks quality as well. It doesn't. He doesn't look. He looks like a dragon, but it looks like his wings are almost angelic in nature as well, which is what I
Yeah,
like about it.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It's almost like he was supposed to be born an angel but came out as a dragon,
yeah.
or birthed by the dragon. Or maybe
Oh,
he was the shadow of Nicol Bolas, and
yeah.
that's
Just
what
the
happened.
the light of Nicol Bolas. What was left, he became Ugin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that would sort of make sense to why Ugin can never really beat um, Bolas,
yeah.
because he's just not powerful enough.
I wonder if we'll ever get an angel dragon, because we've had a demon dragon in a card called Malfagor, but we haven't had
Oh yeah,
an angel dragon yet. So I wonder if we'll ever get that.
I mean, How would you set the premises of it? That's the thing. That's when they design these cards. You've got to think,
Yeah,
right? Why is it? What is in this set? So if it was like an angels versus dragons set, which would be pretty cool.
it would. Yeah,
But I don't know why angels would be fighting dragons anyway. But if that were to happen, um, you could have it so that there is someone that comes along who is both angel and dragon, and brings them together to fight another threat or something like that.
yeah. It would.
Or
It would.
maybe the angels seek the power of the dragons to
Yeah,
take on the demons.
yeah. That'll be quality. Angels, dragons, demons, and something else. Angels, dragons, demons, and something else. Yeah, But yeah, that'll be
I mean,
quality.
there's that commander that you can when she attacks, or yes, when she attacks. Kalia the
Kalia,
Vast?
yeah.
The Vast, yeah. I mean, I've been waiting for you to say I'm going to build a Kalia the Vast deck, really.
Yeah, it's just it is good. But I just prefer. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Just haven't decided yet, have you?
No. So my favourite Planeswalker, we actually mentioned her just a minute ago, Kiora. And the version I like is the Crashing Wave. So she appears in my Leviathan deck, Leviathan, Kraken, Octopus, Serpent deck. So Simic colours and 2 others, so 4 in total. Comes in with 2 loyalty counters. +1 is until your next turn, prevent all damage that will be dealt to and dealt by target permanent and opponent controls. So she protects herself against that threat that could come through to you as a +1. She has a draw card as a -1, which is always good, and then you can play an additional land on that turn as well. So it's ramp and card draw on a -1.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. It's like Urban Evolution on a stick, basically. But actually, no, it's not. I don't know what I'm talking about because Urban Evolution is draw 3 cards. Never mind. Just don't listen to that part.
It's
of the podcast.
similar. Yeah.
And then a -5 is the awesomeness that. Where you get an emblem, so emblems cannot be removed. There's no card that says destroy target emblem or remove. You can't exile target permanent. You can't exile an emblem, can you?
No.
So
I mean, I don't think it's classed as a permanent, which is why you can't get rid of it.
exactly.
I mean, there might actually be a way to get rid of it. I don't know, but I can't think of anything, especially in our play group. So essentially, it reads in our play group. This is not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get rid of this. This is just the rules for the rest of the game, basically. It just sets a rule that you have over your head, which is a massive bonus, and which in this case is at the beginning of your end step, you get a 9/9 blue Kraken creature token onto the battlefield.
Cool.
So
that is powerful.
Just 9/9 Krakens coming out of the sea, which is what I love. Kiora the Crashing Wave, that's my favourite Planeswalker at the moment.
I mean, that is that you are right about the emblem thing, because I mean, when I ultimated Tamiyo the other day versus Matthew and Alex, they just sweeped, because it's like I've got omniscience for the rest of the game, and there is nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't matter, and obviously I'm drawing as much as I want and playing everything for free. So it's just sweep the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a fan of people just sweeping the game like that. I feel like you owe it to your chum to play it out, because it doesn't. I mean, it does mean you basically won the game. But
but they should be really ultimately trying to deal with that as and when it they don't let it evolve to that point. Then you identify the threat and get rid of it. So that's it really. That's why I'm never salty about it. It's just like, well, if I haven't identified it, it's my own fault, really.
Yeah, exactly. I've let that happen.
I'd rather just get crushed. I'd just rather sit there like, yep, destroy me. Come on then.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Then I've got my bloody River Hoopo ready to defend me.
Well, this is the thing, and also like omniscience, like you could just get unlucky and draw nothing. You could literally draw the 3 cards and them all be land, and just be like, okay, I passed the turn.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know what's going to happen.
No, but it does help that you can play anything for free, definitely. But there you go.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Okay, so that's our favourite Planeswalkers. Day 6 is our favourite instant or sorcery. So this is my turn. I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is your turn, yeah.
Yeah, so this is instant or sorcery. Don't really play many instants or sorceries, but when I do, they go off with a bang. And Carl will vouch for this in a recent game, which I didn't record, unfortunately, because his reaction was priceless. So I played an Obliterate spell, which is a huge spell that costs a literal bomb. No pun intended there, but it costs 2 forests. No, not forests. Wow, that'd be ridiculous.
Wow, green removal.
Yeah, green board wipe. Blows up lands as well. Yeah, they're all about that. So this is 2 mountains and 6 others. And Obliterate can't be countered. So unlucky. And it destroys all artifacts, creatures, and lands, basically. It's a very old card, so it doesn't target your planeswalkers or anything, but it does destroy all physical beings on the battlefield.
So you're left with just you're left with your planeswalkers and enchantments if you're lucky.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That
any
is really
physical thing
powerful.
is just destroyed. So all the spiritual ether things just remain there, but all the physical stuff is blown up basically.
Cool.
But yeah, just a sentimental card as well, really, because it's quite an old one, but still just changes the game, which is what I like about big sorcery spells.
I remember you telling me about this, and weren't you in the position to win? And you was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play this because I can.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Scorpion God deck it's in. I'm not sure why it's in there. It's just a big reset button. I was like, yeah, I'm in a position to win. But you know what? I'm just going to play this for you, Carl. And he was like, oh, what's that? He was there just, in his eyes. But he's tapping 8 mana. What can he possibly do now? He's already winning. What's he going to tap 8 mana for? And I was just like, yeah, mate, yeah, have a second chance. Blow up the board. Bang, bang, bang. Nuclear bomb.
Insane.
That's just all about who can draw the most lands quickest then, and Carl just unfortunately didn't do it, unfortunately.
You got there.
But there you go.
You took the risk, but it paid off.
It
So
did,
it
it's
doesn't
just
matter.
funny. Yeah.
And it is funny. I mean, that's the whole point. Like big silly cards like that you can't play in any other format.
Well, exactly.
There are times where you can play it in this.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Exactly. What about you? What's yours?
Mine is very similar.
Oh yeah.
And not quite as destructive, but Supreme Verdict.
Oh yeah.
Exactly the same. Can't be counted.
Yeah.
Yours is how much is yours? 8 mana, is it?
8 mana, yeah. Ridiculous.
So for half the price, you can have a non-countable spell, and you just destroy all creatures. And the artwork's it's actually supreme.
Oh yeah, it really is. It's just like a ray of light from the heavens, just cleansing the earth of all the horrible things that are residing there at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Mental.
Absolute destructive ray.
Yeah.
Love it. But yeah, I think we're on the same wavelength with regards to big sorcery spells, just things that reset the game or just reset it for a brief moment, just a calm after the storm, allow everyone to pick up again. Nice. Nuclear spells, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Just stopping the game and then resetting it again, which is quite rare for you because you don't really do that.
No.
But, you don't really like the board wipes yourself, but it's when you have the power to do it yourself, it's hard not to resist sometimes. Like
it is, yeah. I mean, it's another one that I really liked as well, but didn't get in there because I played it wrong this one time. Was Death Cloud.
Oh man, that's a cool card.
Yeah, it's horrible though. It is horrible, but I played it wrong, and I was just like, I'm probably never going to use this again now, to be honest. So that's 3 black mana and X, and then each player loses X life, discards X cards, sacrifices X creatures, and sacrifices X lands.
It's great.
It is great, and it can kill people as well because it's X life and discards their hand. Yeah. So it's just more horrible than. Yeah, I need to look at that again, really, because it is.
I think so. I think Razaketh could definitely use that.
Bells and Lock, you mean?
Bells and Lock, yeah.
How dare you?
Razaketh.
Razaketh is the 8/8 demon, which is to sacrifice a creature, pay 2 life, tutor a card. I don't actually use him at all. He's just sat there at the moment doing nothing.
Oh, not even in the deck?
Not even in a deck right now.
How could you do that to Razaketh?
I know, that's right. His converted mana cost is too high, and I don't play anything that's really sacrificing creatures at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'll have to try and find something. Cool. So that's our favourite instrument of sorcery. Then we go on to favourite land, which you can start with. Favourite land.
Favourite land. Mine is Celestial Colonnade.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you saw how happy I was when we opened it up in Ultimate Masters.
I'll float a link around somewhere now of the reaction.
Yeah, that was literally the one card I cared about getting in that set. I've wanted one for so long.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, so cool. I mean, I still don't really know what to use it in because I don't really have anything to support with it, but I love it. It's so good.
Well, what did you want it for in the first place? What decks did you want it for in the first place there?
Well, I was thinking about making some sort of like Azorus, Tron, Control, Gifts deck. But I just haven't really made it yet. I mean, I might do, but that's all modern. We don't really play modern anymore, so it's sort of like lost on it, really.
Nah, so unfortunately not.
I think if we all got together and was like, right, what we're gonna do is 5 color star or like multicolor star, and then we all make a color. Like for example, I'll choose Azorus, and you could choose like Rakdos,
Yeah.
and then we have all these different colors, and we just, play against each other with a 60 card deck with 5 of us. And for example, I'm Azorus and you're Rakdos, so we are polar opposites, so we hate each other. But you might be like next to Alex, and he's got like Gulgari, so the black is similar. So you sort of slightly like each other, so you don't really attack each other until the end, sort of thing.
Oh yeah, we need to do that at some point. Just have like a proper structured game that's quite thematic as well at the same time. Like that's what I like about Ravinka, and that is that the clans and the guilds and what have you. The clans, I get loads of hate
The
for that.
clans.
Get loads of hate. They're guilds, you idiot. Yeah, all the guilds are just like, yeah, just so thematic, aren't they?
They are, yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely something that we will do, possibly something that I'm gonna, try and push for soon. And I feel like you can definitely do Simic and Rakdos. You've got enough cards, enough decent cards for that. And obviously, talking about this now has made me want to build that Azorus Tron deck. So at least people know what to expect. So that if we do this star format, guys, I will do an Azorus Tron deck, and you'll be seeing Celestial Colonnade
Yeah.
and lots of other counters, Sphinx's Revelation, Gifts and Given, and you'll be seeing big creatures coming out, and yeah,
Oh, big sphinxes.
won't be
and
the
judges
typical
and what have
Azorus deck. Exactly, yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be cool. What about you, mate? What's your favorite land?
Oh, land, yeah, that's it. I was trying to think of what the topic was then. I was trying to find the screen. Land. So it's a split between two, really, depending on what deck is using it at the time. So it's a land that will regenerate your creatures.
Yep.
So one of them is Yavimaya Hollow. I only have one of these because it's a very expensive card, which could be ran in any deck that uses green, because it just says tap, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, or tap and pay 1 forest, regenerate target creature. So I love my big creatures, and anything that can keep them alive is a great land, I think.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's similar fashion to Swarmyard, which I do have a lot of. Again, quite an expensive card now, because it regenerates insect, spider, rat, or squirrel, which is mainly used for the insect and spider part of it. Still yet to make a spider deck, because I'm not sure whether I'm going to use Ishkanar or Thantis. But the insect.
Is Yavimaya Hollow the one that taps for colorless? Did you say?
Yeah, it taps for colorless, and then it regenerates target creature as well for 1 green.
Oh, that is pretty damn good, actually. Yeah, I can see. Oh, and if you've got that in your Simic deck at the moment, have you?
No, I've got it in my Leviathan one.
Oh, Leviathan, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, if you build this insect deck, do you think you're going to put it into that, both of them into that, so that you have both two ways to regen?
Yeah, I mean, because all my commander cards are in the same sleeves, I can literally just pick out the expensive lands that I've got and just switch them between decks. Luckily.
That's a cool idea. Yeah.
So if I'm not using the Leviathan deck, I can just take the Yavimaya Hollow out and put it in the insect one, because the insects all.
Yeah.
Because I'll, if that's the case, I'd have a Swarmyard and a Yavimaya Hollow, so I've got more chance of regenerating my big creatures, which is good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I mean, I think that would be quite a good idea.
And that's why it's sometimes worth buying just one card. If you're playing Commander, if you want to have a copy of that, just to say that you've got a copy of it, you can just switch it in between decks, because you're only going to be using one at a time.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if you've got, the same color sleeve or clear sleeves,
yeah,
then I mean, it sort of makes sense to not have these decks with like fully built. Like, you don't need multiple copies of the same card, really, because you can just.
I mean, you can just have a mana pool almost with all the expensive lands in, and just switch them out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. That's a pretty good idea, man. That's a pretty good idea. Definitely.
That's what I
might think about as well. It's just that I like different color sleeves, I think. So I sort of just want to chop and change them all around the place. But I often find that I'm like, oh, do I really want to buy another copy? And I'm like, no, I don't. But
it's difficult. But luckily, it works for me, because I've got all my cards in the same sleeves. Only because the deck box that I built doesn't fit good sleeves in it. Only fits the thin ones in. But luckily, I like thin ones anyway. They're not. I don't mind. But
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think if you were to obviously it means that your double-sided cards you'll need to put in something like a piece of paper, like double up the magic cards, or put two magic cards behind each other, like a land behind it, so
yeah.
people don't know what it is.
Oh yeah,
but-
double-sided ones. That's the only issue I have. Yeah, I do have a few transform cards which you can see that you're going to draw it if it's
Yeah.
up next. That's the only
Which
problem
is
you have
actually
with
more
those.
of a disadvantage for you as well, because if you can see that you're going to draw it, we can see what's coming up and we can get rid of it before it even
Yeah.
happens if we wanted to. It's like a major advantage for us as well.
Yeah, it's like, like a bloody late game. I'm like, treasure map coming up next. What's that going to do for me? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it means that you can almost, for example, you can say use a shuffle effect on your deck so that you know that that's not what you're getting next turn.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just use the back. You just put an island behind it or whatever.
Yeah, you could.
Should work.
But yeah, those
Either
lands in general, I think, yeah, they're one of my favourites because they just regenerate my big creatures, and I love big creatures. So
yeah, 100%.
So yeah, favourite land. So day 8. This one is we'll go up to day 10 on this particular episode because it's gone. Well, it's 56 minutes now. This one. There's a couple of breaks in there, but yeah. So day 8 is a card you used to love but now hate. So I'll go with this one. I think a card I used to love but now hate. I used to play a lot of angels actually. Back in the day.
Yeah, you did. Early days, Angels and Demons recursion deck. Maybe that is something to bring back in the future.
Possibly, yeah. I just don't. I do like Angels, but I know obviously someone who's on the show today does it better. So I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I mean, it's the same.
It's like that, Commander. You don't want to step on someone else's toes, do you?
No, you don't. I mean, every deck's your own. And if you come up with that idea, I don't think anyone else is really going to copy that idea because that's not really what it's about. It's about creating your own deck and your own flavors, really.
100%.
So similar decks can have similar themes and similar mechanics, but it's still going to be down to you to create it.
Yeah. Ultimately, it should be, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I don't think anyone else is going to run an insect tribal deck. I mean, my Elenda vampire deck is heavily inspired, or might have been inspired by Leo's modern vampire deck, but still it is very, very different in the sense that it's black and white, and it does other things, but still you can still have the same tribe, but still have a completely different flavor, which is why Magic's great. You can still run similar cards, but still have different flavors. But for me, I think I used to love Angels, but since someone else has made a better deck, I'm just happy to let it go. Not that I hate them. I think they're great. Well, I do hate them if I'm playing it. Yeah, I do hate them. You're right. I do hate them. Yeah. Yeah, I do hate them. What about you?
I
think I might know this one.
On my list, I have... Do you know what it is?
I think so. Is it a green card?
It is a green card, and it does have Death Touch, and it is horrible. So it is... Oh, I hate this card. It's Acidic Slime, and I actually still use this card.
Yeah.
And in my
utility, though, isn't
bounce deck, it's utility, and it is awesome. But God, is it horrible?
Yeah, especially when you need those lands or those rocks to create your mana that you use as a multicolor player.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just destroys key pieces. I'm a 5-color person, so if my key pieces are getting destroyed, I mean, it's just infuriating for me. But I mean, it is a really good card, so I can see why people use it. But when Matthew or Alex drop that, or Leo, oh God, does it? I'm just like, oh man, really?
I think sometimes know that you're going to be the target as well because you rely on that multicolor mana base.
Yeah, exactly,
for like the 2-color players, destroying someone's fetid pools or whatever is not going to be as annoying because we know we can get that dual mana, whereas you need to hold the whole pool as such.
Oh, so exactly. I'm definitely always the target when it comes to it because they're like, right, what's people have got? Oh, Josh has got 3 of the 5 colors he uses,
Yeah.
or he's got 4 of the 5 colors. Let's just put that down to 3.
Yeah. That's it.
And that is right pain like. Or for example, I might have like 3 basics: mountain, island, and a forest, and a command tower, and I just know my command tower's going if that happens.
Oh yeah. Command Tower's great.
Yeah, command tower's brilliant.
But yeah, so that's a valid choice. I mean, another one that's horrible that you never like to see is Terastodon, isn't it? That's another one that you don't really like.
Oh yeah, Terastodon. God, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Except it takes 3 of my lands.
Oh wow.
I mean, we have become more as a play group a little bit more savage with land taking than we used to be. But because we used to be pretty fair. We used to be like, it was the last thing we would take. But now it's like, actually, it's probably the best thing to take.
Yeah, if you want to stop someone, getting rid of that vital mana that they need is essential to the whole game plan, really, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm actually currently sleeving an acidic slime.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a few actually. I just don't. Yeah, they just don't. I mean, it's a great card, but if
they take up a difficult space, don't they?
It does, yeah, because it's removal also for both enchantments, lands, creatures in the sense that it's got Death Touch. It is great, yeah. It's just I just don't like removing my tribal cards either, because a lot of my stuff is tribal stuff. And it's just a slime at the end of the day. It's not a synergistic card with regards to tribal, but yeah, it is good. So moving on to day 9 is a card whose art you love. There's quite a lot of these actually, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, between us, we have quite a few, cards that we really like just personally. So
yeah,
I think art-wise, there's going to be even more, because there's cards that I like that I don't use very often. Like, here's a good one. Actually, I've got it right in front of me. Phyrexian Rager. Oh, that is a beautiful color in that card. I don't know if you can get it up in front of you now, and you'll have a look at it. You'll see what I mean. It's just like shocking colors.
Like the blue tinge. That one looks like a giant.
Yeah, exactly that one. Yeah.
That's quite good actually. Yeah, brilliant. Just comes into play. You draw a card, lose 1 life. 2/2 body.
Does everything really?
Yeah.
I mean, the losing 1 life is nothing in Commander, and it's
not.
The fact that you get to draw is a real bonus. I was using that in my 5-color bounce deck for a long time. It's only just come out, just because I have other ways of drawing now. More than anything, I don't need to rely on that sort of strategy anymore.
No.
But so that's where Arbor Elf and not Arbor Elf, Elvish Visionary and what's the vampire that does it? Dusk Legion Zealot. I will go out. All of those enters the battlefield, draw a card. Creatures are great value.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
In a bounce deck, but now that I'm not bouncing cards in this specific deck anymore, they sort of can be filled up with other things, really.
Yeah, I mean, it does look sick. I mean, there's so many cards out there which look really, really good, but some of them are unavailable. Like one of my favourite ones with regards to the artwork is Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, that is a quality looking card. An awesome creature.
Yeah. It's just the daddy of demons, isn't he, really? But
yeah.
Broken in the sense of the mechanics, but obviously we can get to that in a later podcast with regards to banned cards that we love. But yeah, he just looks really awesome. He's just looks like he's sort of human, but his arms are corrupted by some sort of demonic nature. It looks like he's got massive scythes as hands.
Yeah, I sort of almost feel like he looks like Hellboy in some ways.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, another plug to another film that's coming out recently. That looks really good as well.
Yeah.
On the recent trailer, he's just riding a dragon in hell or something like that. It just looks mental. Loads of weird ass creatures and stuff. Yeah, it looks like a good film, and it's R-rated as well. So it's like Deadpool in the sense it's going to be gore and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's good. That's what it needed.
Yeah.
Avacyn emerged from the broken Hell Vault, but her freedom came at a price.
Him. Yeah.
Him.
There's another card as well which ties to that whole that whole thing. The Hellvault is a card that you can just exile your own creatures with, but you can also exile target creatures as well. And it's the Hellvault is what Griselbrand was imprisoned in. I think Sorin made it or something to imprison him in, and it looks sick.
Wicked. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. It's got like a moon in the background.
Yeah, it's like a big triangular, like almost like the Hedrons of the Eldrazi plane, almost.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I mean, that would be quite cool in my bounce deck. It's a legendary artifact as well.
Yeah, it looks awesome. But yeah, 7/7 flying lifelink, pay 7 life, draw 7 cards. It's just ridiculous. You can pay as much life as you like.
Yeah, in a commander game, that's why it's bland.
Yeah, and I think we're going on to that topic now, really, with regards to banned cards. But I think the Griselbrand, the fact that Griselbrand is banned, is he is the sole inspiration behind my Bells and Lock deck in the sense of paying life to draw cards.
Yeah, so exactly.
His
just
spirit
slightly
lives
less reliable, isn't it?
Yeah, his spirit lives on in that deck. But yeah, he just looks awesome.
Yeah, my favorite art for of hey, it's tough, but at the moment, because I think it's more of like a phase thing for me, is I like the new art for Through the Breach. Yeah, we got one in Ultimate Masters.
Oh yeah,
beautiful looking card. And then again, it's got Emrakul again because that's basically what Through the Breach is used for. Emrakul and Griselbrand, both of them.
Yeah,
that is the whole theme of that deck.
Arcane instant as well. Through the Breach.
Powerful.
You may put a target creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Yeah. So all of its enter the battlefield abilities go off. All of its triggered abilities you can use. Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it?
I mean, the thing is with that exactly is with a Through the Breach deck is the idea is either to get Griselbrand or Emrakul. Now, if you've got Emrakul, obviously you're just bringing him in, and you don't get the cast trigger, but you are just swinging with a 15/15 Annihilator 6. So you should basically have just won the game that way.
Yeah.
Especially when people are like fetching and taking damage, it basically ends the game.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, then you play Griselbrand, and you pay 7 life. You do your 7 damage, and you just pay 7 life until you get to the point where you get this 1 red card, which says, and instead of paying its mana cost, you can discard or exile 2 red cards. I can't remember what it is, but you do that, and you get another combat phase, and then you go again with Griselbrand, and you pay 7 life again until you get it again, and then you do it again. It's a sick deck.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, Through the Breach is probably the reason why they probably got banned. It's just abusing it like that. I mean, even if you were to bring Griselbrand out, for instance, and then someone was to target him with a spell, you could still pay the 7 life and put it on top of the stack and draw the cards. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
and
my
then
god.
Yeah, exactly. And like you could play Griselbrand counter where you just pay 7 life to see if there's a counter for it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Mental. Wild sauce. So yeah. Cards that we really like artwork wise sort of evolved into the ban list, but we can get to that another time on the next episode. But the last topic of today is not something that I can really contribute to, really, is a sense of a card that you got signed or altered. Did you ever have it
signed or altered?
Yeah. Have you ever got?
So I've got a single copy of Beast Fangs, which I got back in the days of buying from Mana League. And that was when they used to do. I don't know if they still do them now, but I buy from them time to time. But I haven't bought anything like this for a long time, and that's actually what I would suggest to maybe a new player if they're still it's still similar, and you want to try new cards. Is they used to do like 10 green rares for £1 or something like
bulk
that.
Bulk rares,
or 10 foils for £1 and stuff like that, and it was like just random stuff or bulk things, like 100 bulk green cards for £1. And it was awesome because you just get so much crap, but
just more inspiration.
Still, exactly. And the one that I got was well, it wasn't Beast Fangs, it was Dragon Fangs, wasn't it?
Well, Beast Fangs is the Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah, which was probably inspired by the Dragon Fangs, to be fair.
Well, you could run Beast Fangs in your deck. I mean, a Beast type monster equipped with this card increases its attack and defense by 300 points, so that could be quite good. You instantly get 300 trample.
Yeah, I mean that. I don't think that would be banned.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine?
Yeah, I play
So I'm
Beast Fangs. Huh?
What's that?
What's that? Can you imagine the judge's reaction if someone just actually did that? I play Beast Fangs.
Yeah. Oh, have you heard from across the table? Just someone
Yeah.
go, "I play Beast Fangs. This is my creature. Plus 300. Plus 300."
What?
What?
Wow, ridiculous.
Literally, stand up from the chair, get into your Yugi stance, and then just boom.
Literally.
Nycast Beast Fangs.
Wow,
Yeah, exactly.
ridiculous. Oh well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. That's the first 10 days of the 30-day MTG challenge. If you just type in hashtag MTG challenge, you'll see that at the moment I think it's on about day 15, 16 of the actual challenge. But you know, we've just covered the first 10 topics, so we'll probably do this the other. Probably in 3 segments. There's 30 days. We're on day 10, so we'll probably do it in 2 other segments. Do you reckon?
Yeah, sounds about right to me.
So yeah, the next episode will be day 11, a banned card that you love. So we'll probably just continue discussion on some of our favourite cards that we can't play for whatever reason.
I mean, in ours will mostly be about Commander, but we might have a modern link here and there. Because I play Modern as well.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see why Modern cards are banned, because it's a completely different game, isn't it? Almost. Well, it is.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's aggressive 1v1.
It's
just completely different game.
I mean, yeah, Modern is not a multiplayer format, is it really?
No, it's not.
No,
not at all.
Yeah, so it's a completely different game. But yeah, we can speak about start that discussion off next time. But thank you very much for tuning in to another Pass the Turn Magic and Mondays session. So if you tune in over the next few weeks, we'll just continue this discussion in this format. There's a lot of stuff going on outside the studio with regards to availability, which is why we're doing it on this format. So we just thought we'd give it a try. But yeah, it's good with regards to discussion points, I think, and it's nice and easy to do as well.
100%.
Yeah, so it's, thank you very much for tuning in, and thanks for joining me today, Josh.
Yeah, that's great. Anytime, man. We've got plenty of conversation. We've got lots to talk about coming up on this channel as well.
Definitely.
I think this podcast style thing will be something that we do more frequently. So if there's anything that you wanted us to talk about, being that we are novices, or we've had some experience in some areas, but we would be really interested to see what you want us to talk about, or if you've seen our decks and you want to know about specific parts of our decks, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Just drop a comment in the section below, and we can just have a look at it, and then that'll just obviously inspire us to just talk about more random stuff. But yeah, I mean, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one on Magic Mondays this time next week. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.